In the shadowed corridors of time, where empires crumble into dust and legends are born from whispers, a name echoes through the ages. It is a name forged in fire, ambition, and the blood of conquest. Chandragupta Maurya. Before him, the land we know as India was a fractured tapestry of warring kingdoms, a mosaic of ambition and strife, ripe for the taking. The air itself was thick with the scent of change, a storm gathering on the horizon, waiting for the lightning to strike. From the embers of the collapsing Nanda Empire, a shadow began to stir. He was a young man of unknown origin, his past a cloak of mystery. Some say he was of royal blood, cast aside by fate. Others whisper he was a commoner, a boy of the forests, with a fire in his eyes that mirrored the untamed wilderness itself. This was Chandragupta. His world was one of chaos. A land weakened by internal conflict and threatened by the encroaching armies of Alexander the Great's successors, the Greeks who lingered in the northwest. Their steel and discipline a stark contrast to the fractured might of the Indian subcontinent. Destiny, it is said, weaves its threads in the most unlikely of places. It was in the ancient city of Taxila, a crossroads of knowledge and intrigue, that Chandragupta's path crossed with another. A man as sharp and unforgiving as a razor's edge, a Brahmin scholar and strategist named Chanakya. Chanakya was a kingmaker, a master of statecraft and subterfuge, his mind a labyrinth of political theory. He saw in the young Chandragupta not just a warrior, but a vessel for his grand design, a united India, a single unyielding empire, an Akand Bharat. Together, they were the mind and the sword, a force of nature poised to redraw the map of the known world. Their first steps were shrouded in secrecy, a guerrilla war fought from the shadows. They gathered a rebel army, a coalition of the disenfranchised, the forgotten, and the ambitious. They moved like phantoms through the dense jungles and rugged hills, striking at the garrisons of the Nanda Dynasty, testing their strength, sowing seeds of rebellion. Each victory, no matter how small, was a testament to Chanakya's cunning and Chandragupta's raw, magnetic leadership. They were learning, adapting, growing stronger with every skirmish, their legends spreading like wildfire on the dry plains. The heart of their ambition lay in the opulent city of Pataliputra, the seat of the Nanda Empire. It was a city of immense wealth and staggering corruption, ruled by the arrogant and unpopular king Dhanananda. The campaign for Pataliputra was not merely a battle. It was a grand, elaborate chess game. Chanakya's spies infiltrated the court, turning nobles against their king, spreading discord and paranoia. Chandragupta's armies encircled the city, a tightening noose of iron and will. The final siege was brutal, a clash of elephants and steel, but the outcome was inevitable. The Nanda dynasty fell, and from its ashes, a new era was proclaimed. At the age of 20, Chandragupta Maurya ascended the throne, the first emperor of a new and formidable power. But the throne was not the end of the struggle. It was merely the beginning. To the northwest, the shadow of Alexander the Great still lingered. His general, Seleucus Nicator, now a king in his own right, ruled a vast Hellenistic empire that bordered Chandragupta's fledgling domain. He saw the new Mauryan power as a challenge, an upstart kingdom to be crushed. In 305 BCE, the two titans clashed. The armies of the west met the armies of the east on the banks of the Indus River. Greek phalanxes faced Indian war elephants, a cataclysmic collision of two worlds. The details of the battles are lost to the mists of history, but the result is clear. Chandragupta emerged victorious. The peace treaty that followed was a masterstroke of diplomacy. Seleucus ceded vast territories, including modern-day Afghanistan and Baluchistan, to the Mauryan Empire. In a gesture of alliance, he gave his daughter in marriage to Chandragupta, bridging the two cultures. In return, Chandragupta gifted Seleucus 500 war elephants, a living, breathing symbol of India's might that would later turn the tide of battles in the West. The Mauryan Empire was no longer a regional power. It was an international force, its borders stretching from the Hindu Kush to the Bay of Bengal, from the Himalayas to the Deccan Plateau. Under the guidance of Chanakya's Arthasyatsrastra, a treatise on statecraft so profound it is studied to this day, Chandragupta built an empire of unprecedented scale and complexity. He established a centralized administration, a vast network of officials and spies that ensured the emperor's will was felt in the furthest corners of his realm. A common currency was introduced, trade routes were secured, and a standing army, one of the largest in the ancient world, guaranteed peace through strength. It was an age of order carved from chaos, a colossal machinery of state built on a foundation of iron discipline and meticulous planning. Yet, as the years passed, a profound change began to stir within the emperor. The weight of his conquests, the ghosts of the battlefields, the immense responsibility of his empire, all began to take their toll. The man who had waded through rivers of blood to unite a nation found himself seeking a different kind of peace. The chroniclers speak of a great famine that swept the land, a time of immense suffering that deeply affected the emperor. He saw the fragility of life, the transient nature of power and glory. In the twilight of his life, Chandragupta Maurya, the great conqueror, the unifier of India, made a decision that baffled his contemporaries and echoes in eternity. He embraced Jainism, a philosophy of radical non-violence and asceticism. He abdicated his throne, handing the vast empire he had forged to his son, Bindusara. Stripped of his royal robes, his crown, his sword, he became a wandering monk. He traveled south to a hill known today as Shravanabelagola, following his spiritual guru. There, in the solitude of the wilderness, the first emperor of India, the man who commanded legions and held the fate of millions in his hands, undertook the final, arduous ritual of Salakana, voluntary fast unto death. He relinquished food and water, shedding his mortal body layer by layer, seeking to purify his soul. It was the ultimate act of renunciation, a quiet, solitary end for a man whose life had been a symphony of sound and fury. The Lion of Magadha, the architect of an empire, faded back into the silence from which he came, leaving behind not a tomb of gold, but a legacy written across the very soul of a subcontinent, a whisper in the corridors of time. Thanks for watching. Follow for more echoes from the forgotten past.